And we're here.
There we go.
Welcome
And we're back.
to the Undrafted, Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanger. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in, everyone, to Undrafted, Uncensored, where it might be cold outside, but the temperature will still be higher than the tenure of each Raiders coach the last 15 years.
But baby, it's cold outside.
It's football playoff weather.
Just change things, baby.
There you go. There you go. Like, consistency. Who cares?
Yeah, just fire him, baby. That's it. I like this, Colin.
Makes me wonder if he uses the same bowl, though, every week to get his haircut.
Ooh, just bowl cut, baby? That's a good one.
Just bowl cut, baby.
Well, I mean, when you go to PF Chang so much, it's hard to make sure that you get the same exact platter. I'm sure he has a special set, but there's probably multiple sets there.
Yeah.
And his barber has to just find the cleanest one in the kitchen.
Well, he's just, he's trying to create Bono, and there's only one way to do that, and that's a lot of PF Changs. We've all seen that South Park.
And the most disappointing part, there was a PF Chang's in my hotel this week, and I didn't go. I should have done it.
I don't think I've ever actually been to. There used to be one up by the Colorado Mills Mall, I believe, and I don't think I ever went in.
It's pretty good. PF Chang's is pretty good. It's a little overpriced, but they're actually they're good.
They're lettuce wraps, dude. Oof.
They had those at Payway, which were the same exact things.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Payway was the exact same thing as PF Chang's, but most of those are gone now.
I saw one, I thought, a couple weeks ago. I don't remember where.
There are a few, but they're very few and far between.
They're going the way of Bennigan's?
Well, they've basically, they didn't shut their door on their employees when they closed down. They still had a few stores, but Bennigan's, I mean, to go in the random history, Bennigan's literally shut the door on all of its employees, didn't tell anybody that they were closing up shop around the nation, and just shut every single restaurant down. And people were showing up to work. It was a bunch of shenanigans at Bennigan's, and they were showing up to work, and people didn't know and had no clue. There was a bunch of news stories about it.
I remember those.
It was like the, I don't know. It was the unexpected trade deadline for everybody, except everyone just got cut.
Can you imagine just walking up to the door though with your key, sliding it in, turning it, and like walking into the door because it doesn't open?
No.
Oh.
Have you ever been fired like that, Nick? Where like you walk in to your job and they're just like either waiting for you or like and then you get fired within a few minutes or whatever. Like, have you ever had that happen?
No, thankfully I've never been fired.
It's so fucking weird. As soon as you walk in, you could just feel it. You're like, something's wrong.
Oh man,
this ain't right.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, nothing. It was just one of those. This is when I got fired for taking home expired food at GoPuff, and they're like, we didn't come and have a meeting, and I'm like, am I getting fired? What the fuck am I getting fired for? Like, I wish I at least did something cool that I would know. Like, oh yeah, they're coming for me. They figured out the whatever the fuck thing that happened was, and no, they were mad that I was taking home expired food.
That's why you always carry fireworks with you.
Yeah, but hilariously, they took like 3 hours to fire me, sitting there like telling me how bad it was, and they put me on the phone with like the head of loss prevention of the company and all this. This is right at the beginning of COVID. Some guy in my mask just giggling, like, guys, I'm on the clock for this. You could have fired me 2 hours ago.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Not my money. Well, I mean, I guess it is, but I mean, the good thing is, sometimes you have employees that do things like that, and other times you have employees that make first team all pro and make the Pro Bowl as starters. And like that segue.
Something Joe knows nothing about.
No.
I mean, hey, it just shows you again the growth of this team is made much quicker than we anticipated. PS2, Quinn Miners and Marvin Mims, all first team, and Zach Allen and Nick Bonito, second team all pros. And again, that doesn't even include the guys that made the Pro Bowl yet. So, and I think I like not the Pro Bowl. I like the All Pro more because it's based on players.
Yeah, I mean it is player choices, but also at the same time, some of those are already kind of just preset and determined. Like we've heard we've heard now how a lot of it works from former athletes. The guys, the representatives just come in and say, "Hey, here's this, and you can choose tick 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 tick." Some of the guys do take more time choosing, but most of the guys don't really care, and they just go with whatever the other guys say. So it does say a lot that that they are getting recognized by the leaders of these other teams. It does suck, for some of the other guys who I think balled out this year. I'm not saying totally deserving, but I think that there are some honorable mentions that could be around for the Broncos for sure. JFM, he had a hell of a season. Riley Moss at the end of the season, unfortunately, kind of crapped the bed. So that was he was on track. He had a great start, and that defense was looking good. But at the end, coming back injured, hurt. So there were some other chances. Sutton had a good year with once again with some receptions. He had some drops, but I think that the guys who got recognized fully deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlike the Pro Bowl where fucking Jerry Jeudy ends up. Like when a guy like Jerry Jeudy can actually be on your Pro Bowl roster, that just proves even more so that it delegitimizes the Pro Bowl. I've heard people talk about the AFC was weak. Like, no, Nico Collins was amazing this year. Like, how is he not on this list? There was some other guys, but like, yeah, no, the All Pro I think is where the actual accolades show up.
Yeah, I was going to say
Colin.
the thing with Jeudy making it was his end of the season. It's the end of the season for him was fire, and he blew up all of a sudden. Imagine that once Deshaun Watson was out of the game, he started to have good games, and he became a focus, and he got peppered with balls. And when the games didn't matter, Jerry Jeudy started to do stuff. Have we ever heard that story before?
What?
So
no.
We've all been, the NFL, you're always going to have something wrong in all the sports about all these pick'ems. The NFL got it wrong with Jerry Jeudy, and that's okay. You're going to have a few of them, but you're right. The All Pro does mean more than the Pro Bowl.
Well, and I'm going to ask a question, and this is just because I like the Pro Bowl, but I don't pay attention to it as much. Is it like the baseball all-star game where you have to have at least one representative from each team? Okay. I was just making sure because you and I know baseball, you have to have at least one guy from every team. I think
that's why I was so shocked about that, because no other sport does that. I mean, when you guys told me that one guy has to go from every team, I'm like, what? Why? Some teams are ass. Some teams just should not have anybody in the Pro Bowl, All-Star game, like whatever. I
don't know. Elias Diaz, he's the one who hit the game-winning home run MVP in that All-Star game.
Well, I guess it does sort of make sense.
He was the one representative. I'm just telling you.
But could you imagine if other sport, like if the Portland Trailblazers got to send somebody to the All-Star game?
Hey,
I think that's kind of the different thing with some of the roster. I guess you could in the NFL, but now that they've turned it into flag football and it's not 11 on 11, it makes it even more difficult to possibly get one person from every team out there.
That's true.
Yeah, I think the Giants guy, Malik Neighbors.
I think they typically do get. I mean, most of the teams do have some sort of representative, especially once the playoffs start and the guys who politely decline the invitation.
Yeah,
I think we do get to that point, but being named the starter or just an all-star, or Pro Bowl player, I think that obviously it still holds weight because it's still in guys' contracts. It's still they make money for making Pro Bowls. It's still mentioned, so it's a thing, but it's just one of those things that it doesn't really matter once the actual game. I'm kind of excited for this year's Pro Bowl to see it in its second iteration of how they changed it from previous years and the side games. I mean, they just need to bring back the quarterback club still, but they're doing pieces of it.
Well, and it was funny
so
too.
real quick, apparently the Dolphins, the Jets, the Titans, and Saints all have no Pro Bowl players.
The Dolphins?
Yeah. I guess they've been that bad. Nobody voted in like Tyreek Hill, Waddle.
He was hurt.
You know,
the one person that would be there would be the one person that would deserve it would be Achan, but they were all hurt throughout the season.
Yeah, you know, the Jets also surprised me a little bit. It's not like they were that good, but you know, Garrett Wilson had a good year.
Sauce Gardner's just a name brand.
Yeah, you know the fact again, Jerry Jeudy. It's not like he got in over Sauce or anything because different positions, but like, come on, guys.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting sometimes how like the different sports, but like you were saying, Colin, the flag football thing, they keep learning from their mistakes the year before. I totally forgot, and I thought maybe it was like a Mandela effect, where I asked my mom one day, I'm like, didn't they used to have a skills competition? Like Pro Bowl weekend, you had like a skills competition and then the game. I'm like, am I dreaming that? She's like, no, that's how they used to do it.
Yeah, they'd have it. I remember seeing on YouTube. There was like Peyton Manning versus Carson Palmer versus.
Oh, I'm
Brett
talking
Favre.
before. I'm talking like early '90s, dude. Like,
well, I'm sure it went on for a while, but you know, yeah, I think it ended around the early 2000s.
Well, what it was some of it having the skills competition was Robert Edwards for the Saints or the Patriots. Excuse me. They were playing their beach volleyball game, and he tore his ACL. And and that was basically the end of those other games. You know, they had the fastest man on earth with Darryl Green all the time. You know, you had those different competitions, but once Edwards tore his ACL, and at that point in time, it was a career ender for sure. But that was '99, so it started to change after that, and having the other games. And then when people saw that, because Edwards that year was one of the top running backs in the league, and he never played again, or maybe he did play again, but it was a total shell of himself, and so he lost out on millions. And once he lost out on millions, and players saw that, they were like, "Why would we take this seriously? Why are we going to risk our future?" Like, yeah, we'll show up, we'll sip pina colada. I mean, obviously it was in Hawaii at that point. We'll sip pina coladas and sit by the pool and charge the rookies all this money, and they can pay for all of our dinner and tabs. But yeah, we're just not going to give full effort because these guys get hurt and now their careers are over.
I'm sorry, what's this? It's a trip to Hawaii on the NFL.
Plus some friends and family.
Oh, look at that plus. I didn't see that. Yeah. I thought that was ketchup. Look at that plus. All right, let me get you my list, and we'll see you guys in the beginning of February.
Yeah, and it was a chance for all the like star players to get together and hang out, bullshit stuff they don't really get to do that often because they're all over the country and stuff. I remember there was even some time you'd see like guys talking to the Pro Bowl about like recruiting. I want to say it was like maybe it was Romo recruiting T.O. to the Cowboys, or someone recruiting T.O. at Pro Bowl. Just like, hey, man, it'd be pretty cool. Like maybe it was McNabb recruiting him from the Niners or some shit. But, like, yeah, that kind of stuff, it's just – and I was even going to joke, like, I want to see him play basketball. But, like, yeah, obviously it's never going to happen because the injury risk. But that would be a ton of fun to see guys play different sports. Or even just to see, like, I've wanted a defensive lineman quarterback skills competition for years, or I guess you can't do the 40 because, again, you don't want to risk yourself. But, like, I want fun stuff like that. I want to see guys do other shit, or the lineman receivers competition. Can you catch a touchdown pass as an offensive lineman?
Yeah, see the alternate receptions. Oh man, he got back and then he took off. He was he was frozen, and we got it, and then we left. I had him back. I don't think he realized that I got him back on. But the unique things, I think they have they do have the insane catch now in the Pro Bowl, which is fun. They have what is it? So they're doing the insane cat, the like miracle catch, whatever, the diving catch where they're giving scores like the dunk contest.
Okay.
They are going to have, like I
to
said,
land
the
on or something.
yeah, the flag football game. They're going to do some quarterback sort of thing.
And you know what?
Just,
you don't even have to have some kind of athletic competition. Let's have a quiz game. Let's get it sponsored by Hot Ones, and let's have it.
let's
just like something like that. You don't have to do something that actually risks their have a roast. Make whoever like the youngest guy on the Pro Bowl sing like in Hard Knocks. Fuck it. Have something. Like, all that matters is we do something fun where we get the guys together. Because I feel like football is kind of the exception to where you're not gonna be able to do much football.
He's back.
He's back. You were back, and then you logged out. I had you back on, and you were moving. But the one thing I will miss about having the actual Pro Bowl is that it was an easy over bet every time. It didn't matter if it was like 80 points. I every year, once we could legally do it, it was just like, all right, here's $20 on the over. And it just always hit because there was no defense. And sometimes it would hit before like the fourth quarter.
Damn. So speaking of no defense, you think I should take the over on Jimmy Butler points tonight?
Well, I mean, supposedly Jokic and Gordon. I didn't hear if Jokic and Gordon were playing, but rumor was earlier that Jokic would be playing.
Ooh.
And Gordon would be playing, excuse me. So, I don't know. Oh, you said Jimmy Butler? No, Jimmy Butler's not going to play.
No, he is. It just came out. He's starting.
Came back from suspension.
He's back. First game.
Yeah, I know he might be back, but I wouldn't take any sort of over.
That's the joke. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. No. No. Sorry, I was just realized what you were saying. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, I wouldn't touch any of that. Anything with Jimmy Butler playing in a Heat uniform.
All right, $10.
Maybe an under. Maybe an under. That might be the only way I'd go.
I thought about it until I saw the ESPN thing that just came out that was like Butler starting. He tweets out, "I'm back." Like, so you know what? I don't want to take it under when he says all that. I kind of still do, but because it's still Jimmy, but it's random regular season basketball. Sorry.
Find something better to bet on.
Yeah, right. Anything else?
Not the Avs, though. Don't do that.
God,
that's inconsistent right now.
Well, no, you just take the over, like Colin said.
Man, I needed a Mikko goal last night. I thought that amid all the trade rumors and everything like that, no, we'll get to it, but I was like, Mikko will come out, he'll score a goal, and nope. So,
well, real quick,
my 4-leg parlay died.
Before we get to that, just real quick, obviously, the divisional games are this weekend, and I think there's some pretty good matchups here. That's going to be pretty fun to watch. Which one are you guys most excited about?
I think the easy one is to say Baltimore and Buffalo.
Yeah,
that's because it should be the most competitive. I am excited to see Jaden Daniels and
that was mine
and the Commanders go up against the Lions and see if those offenses can put on a show.
Yeah,
like I've said it before, I don't know how long this Lions defense can hold it together. In all honesty, all the games this weekend, even the Texans and Chiefs, has intrigued because did the time off hurt the Chiefs this whole time?
Well, and Houston came out way stronger than I think any of us anticipated.
Yeah,
I kind of thought they were going to be able to take care of business.
I didn't think they'd do it that well. I figured they could, like the Broncos, they had a chance to win if they did, certain things right, and they looked way better, in my opinion, than I expected them to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I didn't expect them to look that good, but I expect them to look pretty good in that game. It was just the whole season for the Texans was weird. It just felt like they were that team this year. Get to the playoffs, and also you're playing the Chargers, so you should have an easy W because they'll choke. We'll find a way to screw it up.
They were just like the new kid in the corner of the pool, just kind of everybody else is playing, and they're just like, look at everybody. Oh, look, here's a ball. Just throw it. I'm just gonna float here for a little bit.
What are they playing? Water polo?
No, they're just sitting there chilling like everybody else. Everybody else is playing games, and they're just like,
I know. I also love the swimming. That works. That's the nice touch there, Nick.
But even Eagles and Rams is a good game too. The Rams had 9 sacks last week.
Yeah,
right?
they dominated that game.
Without Aaron Donald.
That was stupid.
Yeah, without Aaron Donald. I mean, I honestly think that this slate of games, they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
And this will be our victory formation and our picks, but I think that they're all going to be a lot more competitive, or more so competitive than the numbers say. Yeah. And I think it's a lot of the college football playoff. It's another blowouts in round 1 should be expected. Higher seeds basically dominated. And now let's see what happens in the second round of the playoffs when we got these guys all rolling, and except for the teams who had the bye. How did the bye affect or help these other teams?
I think it's only going to be positive for the Lions and the Chiefs. Like, they're both beat up teams that needed the extra time. The Lions probably a little bit more so than the Chiefs. The Chiefs were starting to get healthy as the end of the season started to come. But I think it's only going to help both teams. So I think we'll see them both coming out playing really well. It's hard to imagine anything can happen because we almost beat the Chiefs this year. But, I think it's hard to imagine both of those top seeds losing.
Well, I mean, we did.
That's why
that's could be how your special teams coach is fired 5 days after the season ends.
Maybe the Chiefs start Carson Wentz. We don't know. They don't.
They're not starting.
Yeah, okay.
Carson Wentz in this game.
He's probably still sore from playing the Broncos.
Yes.
Yeah, he's still he hasn't had a chance to recover in all of this time from
those achy muscles and
from
joints.
The 2 weeks. He was like, this
hurts. I forgot about that.
Yeah. This is what football feels like. That's what it feels like to get hit. Can I go back on the practice squad, guys?
Yes.
Patrick, I need you over here.
Yeah.
They're fast. I'm not.
He's pulling an Anthony Richardson and just taking himself out.
Done.
I did my part, guys.
Takes off his wristband and just throws it on the ground.
It's flopping out there like Justin Herbert's.
Hey-oh.
But the Broncos firing their defensive coordinator or special teams coordinator. This is when you have a starter at special teams in Marvin Mims in those votings, it goes to show how bad of a job he really did. And Sean Payton, I think we all kind of saw this coming when Sean Payton also called him out. I think this is kind of a warning shot, maybe at Vance Joseph too.
Yeah, well,
because
DJ's going somewhere. He's not gonna be long for Denver.
No. Where's he gonna go?
Wherever Sean decides to fire him to.
I don't know if Sean fires him.
Well, I said this last week. I think it's going to be a lateral move somewhere. I think that he'll take another job somewhere, much like, oh my God, who was our D coordinator with Hackett? Oh my goodness, why am I blanking on his name? Evero. Yeah, who we all wanted to keep here, but the Broncos ended up just letting him take his leave and go over to Carolina. And, it worked out for the Broncos in the end. I still think Evero would have been really good staying here, but I don't blame him for leaving the organization. I just think that if he gets an offer somewhere that's a lateral move, the Broncos can block it, but I don't think Sean Payton would block it.
Let me make you an offer Payton can refuse.
Well, he can.
Yeah, I feel like they could. I don't know. I think until someone offers him some kind of actual promotion, I don't think he leaves. I think he kind of is happy with where he's at. I don't think we're happy necessarily with the lack of adjustments every week from the Broncos defense, but unless someone hires him for some kind of at least assistant head coaching position, I don't see Vance going anywhere.
I just don't trust Peyton to keep him around long enough. It feels like he's just looking around, and I don't know, maybe a little phone call to Rex Ryan, and next thing you know, VJ's gone.
Well, that's kind of what happened today. Was the release of his former special teams coordinator too became available.
Oh, what did you know?
Where's that name? So,
Yeah, that guy. Love that guy.
Yeah, you might as well go.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Is it Joe DeCamillis?
He's available also.
The former Bronco defensive or special teams guy?
Yeah, but he's there too. And
Cool.
Where is it? Darren Rizzi.
He's got a ring. You know.
He's gonna riz up this defense. Let's go, baby.
There it is.
So it's rings or Riz. Either way, we have good
Rings
options.
or riz.
I like this.
Oh well, yeah. There's your sign, Joe.
He'll hit you with a boom.
You show up to the opening game with the Riz or Rings sign.
Riz or rings.
Well, at that point, they'll have made the hire. So
Yeah,
I'll
true.
have a shirt that says rings or a shirt that says Riz.
Rings for
Yeah.
Riz.
There you go. From Riz.
You
Or
could buy. See, this is what we could do. We could buy a bunch of like ring pops, go to the game, and make a sign, and everyone. We could let the ladies riz us up.
Yeah.
There you
Everyone
go.
knows
And
chicks
give
dig
them a
special teams coordinators.
and give them a ring pop as the prize. The best riz or the good
Yep.
rizzes gets
They'll
ring
all
pops.
know the name of the special teams coordinator and get that joke. Absolutely.
Oh, that'd be funny.
I can't wait.
Rings for Riz. That's what we're doing. I'm making a sign.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. By the way, whatever platform you're on, we appreciate you. What did I just do here? Sorry.
What did you
Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and get everybody on board because we love you and you love us.
And it helps.
I love you.
Okay, before Joe finishes the song, heading to the Avs, who had a 3-goal lead last night and looked like they were going to dominate the Oilers. And then the Avs left. That was frustrating because I was in Cabo Wabo watching it.
Cabo Wabo.
Oh, it's Cabo Wabo.
Oh, nice.
It's actually pretty good. I've never had it before, and it was attached to my hotel, and I didn't want to go too far. And they had the Avalanche game.
The last time I went to Cabo Wabo many years ago, the girl I was dating decided to get on stage and show off her goodies, her tatas, and we did not stay together long after that.
You told her it was Coyote Ugly, though.
It doesn't matter where it's at. You're still popping them out.
They were some
In
small
front of
titties, folks.
some former work employees too. I was like, "Ooh, that's not for me." If I wanted to date a stripper, I would have gone to Shotgun Willie's. But
I don't know if you have enough guns to get in there.
I was just saying that's where you want to go to if you want to have something related to gunfire.
Yeah, no, they're not looking for little pea shooters.
More than that, bud. The preseason workout has begun.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Baseball
He's taking it
starts
serious.
Baseball starts March 30th. I'll miss that game
so
because
soon.
I'm at opening day in Tampa, or I'll be in Tampa or headed to Philly, most likely.
One of those.
Yeah, opening day's not in
Opening
Tampa,
days
for
in Tampa. Yes.
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
no, they're playing Steinbrenner.
It's
Sorry.
Steinbrenner. I have my tickets.
Oh, nice.
I got my standing room only ticket. I got my flight. I got my hotel. I'm set for opening day, baby.
Yeah, you are. 'Cause there's only 5,000 seats available in that ballpark anyway.
It cost $130 for that damn ticket.
First Tampa Bay Rays sellout in 48 years. Yes, no, they haven't been around that long.
Yeah, and it's not
Sarcasm.
their first sellout, but
No, it's that one.
it's the first one where everyone might show up because they didn't get stuck on the 1-lane highway going in and out of the
No.
stadium.
Dude, I just keep looking at the traffic to get there, and I'm gonna try and find a way to just stay in the area and walk to the ballpark if they fix it.
My hotel's right on the Riverwalk, not far from Steinbrenner Field. It's I'm pretty lucky. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about going. But yes, the Avalanche back to hockey. The Avalanche They exited stage left once they got those 3 goals. I think it definitely is a learning thing for the team. There is part of the having a good goaltender back there. You have 3 goals and you let up because you just believe, you don't have the same intensity because those guys have been so good in net.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you have to continue to play as hard. I think that's what this was. Edmonton's good. Let's not get that wrong. But I think this was more the Avs letting up because of the success of the goaltending recently. And I think it's a wake-up call that they can't just stop playing because they have that good goaltending, even the 3-goal lead. They should know, of anybody, that a 3-goal lead isn't safe because they've come back multiple times.
Yeah, look at Monday or Tuesday night when they took it to Shesterkin in the 3rd period.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean that's a good goalie.
They, Draisaitl is the other guy on like going up for the Hart Trophy this year. Like he's having a MVP caliber season. And they also have Connor McDavid, who is one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a team you cannot take like in a year where Draisaitl is the one who's going off and they still have McDavid. Like that's a scary ass team. And especially early in the game, like first period, like you gotta tighten up. You can't let them come back after that. Like that's like notoriously when teams kind of just lull. It's like, oh sweet, first period lead, we're set, and then And
then Draisaitl was kind of doing some dirty things the other night too, and he popped Mikko one good one when they were on the ice together, and I wanted somebody to just go Chris Draper on him, and I guess not quite Chris Draper because that's bad.
No, do it.
But, Draper was a little intense.
Yeah, but I mean, just go at him and like remind him that we're not this little brother team, and we're not going to stand for you sucker punching one of our guys in the corner of the ice when you're both on your butts.
Yeah, that's where you're missing Eric Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who will what? Manson?
Yeah, no, not Manson. I was
Manson's more of a guy that does it like during play. Like he'll just fuck you up. I don't know if is Manson a big like fighter? Is he gonna come like kick your ass because you hit one of his guys, or is he just feels like one of those big hit defenseman guys in general?
Avs don't really have any of those guys that are gonna go fight.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's EJ.
Yeah, so
even EJ wasn't a big fighter. EJ used his body to prove a point to you without having to fight.
Well, yeah, but not if you laid a hit out like that hit on Mikko. If you laid that hit out and EJ was there, he was going to go and fight, or he was going to hit you back and hit you hard, and it would probably start a fight. Like he would get it back, and he would get it back right away. He would be on the ice quickly. You would see that. So the Avs don't have that same enforcer type of guy anymore. They just it's kind of been taken out of
lost
hockey.
art.
Yeah. So it does as long as it's not Chris Simon. Yeah. As long as it's not Nate throwing fists again.
Yeah. But those are the sneaky guys that they start getting in that fight. And you're like,
we all know he can't. We all know he can't. I don't want him to though.
Yeah, you're terrified.
I don't care that he can't.
Sometimes you just gotta throw hands every once in a while just to remind the people, I still got him.
I mean, now that we're past the halfway point, don't do it, Nate. Don't listen to Nick.
If you have to, Nate, go for it. It's not a big deal.
It's terrible.
We understand what you're doing. It's for the team.
Don't break your hand again.
Just don't break your hand.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He did that. That was one of his second year.
If you have to break the top hand,
third season,
break the top hand. It's just a guide. All your force is coming from your other hand, so you're fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's not like we're missing anybody else right now, anyway.
Did you see Landeskog skating today, guys?
He's been skating. Yeah.
No, like actual skating with the squad.
Morning skating.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks I mean,
he's been looking like that, though.
I'm not gonna say he looks good, but I will say that he looks like he's actually gearing up to come and play with the squad.
Do you think they sent him to Loveland first?
No,
I don't.
Or do you just bring him right back in and throw him into the mix?
Well, he's the captain. I don't think you sent him to Loveland.
I think he's going on the third or fourth line to get acclimated and playing a few minutes here and there. I don't think he's going to Loveland to play a full game either. If he goes up to Loveland, that's just giving an opportunity to one of those guys that we're talking about earlier, an enforcer, someone else to try and make a name for themselves, and you don't want that.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially with him coming off of injury, not playing for, 3 years.
Yeah.
Coming up on 3 or 2.5.
Yeah, it's, and this is that time previously where we'd see him ramping up, and then it was, oh, fuck, now here's the setback. And knock on wood, we have not seen that. We've seen actual relative consistency. So it's a huge step in the right direction. And it still doesn't necessarily mean that it happens this year, but it means it's possible. It means that it looks like it might actually happen in general. Because
so you're telling me there's a chance.
Exactly. Because you look at the Lonzo Ball injury, he's also a much younger person. So he will recover faster just due to age in general.
Well,
and
there's not as much contact either. I mean, there's contact in basketball, but it's not hockey.
No, but for the knee on the hardwood, I feel like it is pretty much the same. Just for that particular injury. Like for other stuff, 100% hockey is way more. But just for that contact with, knee to the hardwood, having to cut, having to do all those things, like I feel like it kind of is pretty comparable. But it's really nice to see that. And it's nice to see that too, that we've seen the blueprint with the guy for the Bulls able to actually come back and, play some minutes, look pretty well. I'm not sure who got injured first, so maybe Lonzo just had a head start in that sense also. But it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I think the chances are much better now than they were, and thankfully he's out with the team now. It's not just individual skates, so maybe that also helps with the Avs and Mikko re-signing, having Gabe back. And bringing the squad back together, bring back some of those good memories, and Gabe getting into Mikko's ear, like, hey, like, what is it? Maybe he's kind of a diplomat for the team who comes in and says, what does the team need to do besides what they offered you? What kind of things can we do to keep this together? Because Mikko knows that Gabe's at the end of his career. Gabe knows he's at the end, and it's like, hey, let's get another one. Like, let's do this again. And maybe they have enough of a relationship that Mikko would stay and listen to a guy like Gabe if he's going to be out there skating and playing.
Well, at the same time, too, if you want to really know what it's like, call up Nazem Kadri and call up EJ and ask them, what's it like leaving for the money instead of, EJ didn't leave because of the money. He left because the Avs wouldn't bring him back. But ask Nazem Kadri how that feels right now.
Well, and Kadri kind of didn't either, he left.
No, he took the money.
Well, yeah, but the Avs could have paid him over Nichushkin. That was the big offseason talk. Is it going to be Kadri or Nichushkin? That's why a lot of people have lamented choosing Nichushkin. But that's still our guy. We got to stand with him because he's he's back and playing, right?
Kadri?
Yeah. No, Nichushkin.
No. I was like, what? Yeah, he's been playing. Well, actually, he's injured again. He was injured again.
They were showing a stat yesterday. He has 50 points so far this season already, and he's been playing for 2 months.
I know he missed. I know he missed a few games somewhere. Maybe it was just this last week or a game. But Kadri, the thing with Kadri was I believe the Avs offered him a contract before Nichushkin, and he declined it and waited it out and went to look for more money. So I think it's kind of on both. Like maybe the Avs were trying to get a hometown Denver Broncos sweetheart deal,
for John Elway,
and Kadri wouldn't take it. But he was one of the last unsigned players in the NHL not overall, but of the big names. He was one of the last unsigned ones that year when they were going into camp, because I remember it took into the summertime. There were a few months where it was still like Kadri hadn't signed with anybody. So there were rumors of, could the Avs bring him in Nichushkin? But once he turned down the Avs offer, it kind of shifted gears to Nichushkin because Kadri was looking for more money.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think I do vaguely remember something like that now. Because, yeah, the Avs didn't have a ton to spread around because of the top-end talent that they had. So, yeah, I remember that was the big deal. I was like, fuck, how do we keep this team together? And it turns out they really couldn't. But, it was still fun to watch for the past few years. If Nichushkin stays with the team, who knows? Maybe we're having different conversations.
Yeah. Well, I think we would be if he could keep his nose clean.
Wow. Well, go ahead and move on real quick. There's a college football championship on Monday.
Wait, really?
And did anybody have Notre Dame and the Ohio State University on their bingo card?
No.
I didn't make a bracket, so yes, definitely. No, I remember Colin and I were at the station, and it was Oregon, Ohio State, and I, flippantly said, whoever wins this probably goes to the national championship, or even wins the national championship, because these are such good teams. And I was like, I don't know, Ohio State's kind of fallen off. Maybe that wasn't a very smart thing to say. And then, lo and behold, Ohio State fucking tearing up everybody. So I might have had Ohio State given the chance. I probably wouldn't have, though.
I think that there were obviously questions in how the bracket was, and the questions were about who got the buys. So I think the top heavy portion was you could kind of see any of those four falling, I guess, besides Oregon, I guess. So any of the three, the Arizona State, Boise State, and why am I blanking on who was four?
Clemson?
No.
ACC? Who won ACC?
Clemson's only good in basketball.
Oh my god! Why are we blanking on who was the 4 seed?
I got you.
Because Texas was 5. Oh my gosh!
Because it was just the conference.
Penn State. It was Penn State, right?
Penn State. That's right.
So you could there were a lot of questions about those other teams, and Penn State was probably maybe the most qualified. It felt like Oregon was good. They deserved their number 1 seed. They deserved to buy, but you still had some questions about that team. At least I did. Penn State still had questionable wins and losses. I mean, all of it was really questionable. So to see Notre Dame and Ohio State, both teams, Ohio State losing to Michigan at home in the biggest game of the season, like that was there was a part of that. There's no way this team can go on and win. But, they had an off day and they recovered, and maybe that was that same thing. It opened their eyes, and they came out and they were ready for the college football playoff.
Well, in Notre Dame too, they had some problems in the middle of the season where they didn't look nearly as strong as they normally do, and so there was some doubt too that they would even make the FBS playoffs. And so they came in, and I mean they showed Georgia a good time because man, that game was so over so fast, it felt like. And I'm not trying to knock Georgia. They were the number 2 team, but you're the number 2 team and you just lost to a number 7. And the score is nowhere near reflective of what the game actually was.
Yeah, it was this will be tinkered with, this college football playoff, but it's fun to see. This is kind of March Madness like.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they're not technically, they were underdogs making it. They aren't the no-name underdogs that made it, but they were underdogs, and they fought their way through. And I think this will lead to the change next year as far as better seeding, more consistent seeding for the CFP.
Yeah,
and maybe a few more teams, just to make those earlier rounds a little bit more interesting, because we kind of need more teams that can compete like that. Like, it felt like there was a little too much of a gap between the teams that were allowed in and the teams that were, really good. Those first round games were pretty much all. There might have been some closer ones, but I'm pretty sure they're mostly all blowouts.
No.
Okay, so yeah, adding in a few more teams will make those first round games more interesting because you'll have just more teams that can compete, and then we'll get those blowouts in rounds 2 and 3.
I mean, they'll happen from time to time, no matter what.
Yeah, we saw last week in the NFL.
Yeah,
in Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah,
well, the 7th seed only has 1 win in the history of the 7th seed. So that just kind of tends to happen in general. But this is what people like me who haven't watched a lot of college football for years have wanted forever, is just a fucking playoffs. Like, why is that so hard? Like, you're supposed to win the tournament at the end of the season. That's how sports work. And the fact that they just didn't have one, and instead of a tournament, they had a meeting, that always really bothered me. And so even with 4 teams, we got to see some fun upset teams like TCU getting to the national championship. They didn't really have a chance, but no one thought they had a chance against Michigan the week before either. So I love it. I think it's great to see. And I think the more like March Madness the college football playoff can be, the better.
I wish they would take the bowls out of it, though, because that kind of takes away from a lot of these. I mean, you can name the FBS Championship game. I don't care. But you're kind of taking away from, like, other teams, too, because now you have these outlier bowls. Hang on. Now you have these outlier bowls that, you know, you don't get a play in, and you've got Notre Dame that's played in 2 bowls already. You've got, you know, all these other teams that are playing in multiple bowl games. And I understand those are the elite of the elite bowl games. But at the same time, does Notre Dame deserve? They have the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl, wasn't it? Yeah,
maybe
Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl. So they've got 2 bowl championships right there, technically. You know, and you should maybe make the last round your Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl. You know, the big ones, the big 4. And that's just my.
Well, that math wouldn't math though, Nick.
I was told there'd be no math.
Yeah,
because you would need 4 games, and there would be 3 for the last.
No, because you get the Rose Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl.
So you would have that
There's
in
4.
the semifinals.
The quarterfinals, I guess. Semifinals is the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl. Sorry, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now.
And then your finals, like there's
FBS.
4 games. There's 4 games, and then there's 2, and then there's 1. So you're looking at that. I mean, that's a total of 7 games.
Yeah,
and you only have those big. You throw some of those big name ones in there. You know, the what was it? The week before they did the Rose. There was the Rose Bowl. I can't remember.
There's the Rose Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl were all the quarterfinals. The semifinals were the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, and so
And
now the championship is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not really taking. I mean, okay, so these guys got to play 2 games. Tell me the other teams that you would want that's in college football to have played in one of those games. It would have been a highly ranked top team that would have played in those games anyways. So it's not really taking away. You're giving these guys a reward for winning and advancing in the tournament.
Yeah, it's not like it's a real bowl game where like you get all the rewards of winning a bowl game and stuff. Like it's one of the rounds of the tournament.
The CU Buffs were not going to get invited to the Cotton Bowl.
I'm not.
No.
Like, they were not going to get invited to the Orange Bowl. But that's what I'm saying. If you're worse than the top 20 team, you weren't going to get invited to that game anyway. So why do you want to give out that award to some other team that doesn't deserve it? You might as well give a team who's fighting through the college football playoffs and winning games those rewards.
I don't want to give it out. I'm just saying that these guys getting the benefit of playing in 2 bowl games, and you're taking money away from other schools that maybe have a chance to compete in the FBS next year. You know, those are those outlier teams, like the outlier teams that are just almost there. You know, they get that opportunity.
Like
it happens in football all the time. You know, the Nebraska plays the fucking school of the deaf and blind every year, and you know they manage to walk all over them, but they're still getting that money from it. Not them, the school of the deaf and blind.
So what if you did Boise State getting blown out? Did that deserve to be a bowl game?
Say that again.
Did Boise State being blown out deserve to be a bowl game?
I mean, technically, yes. They won their conference.
Yeah, that's future Bronco Ashton Ginty right there.
Okay.
It's not. It's you know they got no bowl game. They got walked over by Penn State. They were again the Drew Luck effect. They were ranked higher than they should have been anyway. Drew Luck was drafted way sooner than he should have been anyway.
Horse, cock,
you know
buck.
it's
So
that's just life sometimes. It sucks.
Which is exactly counterpoint to what you just said, Nick.
Yeah.
They deserved it. They earned that spot. These other teams did not earn a spot in the college football playoff. Therefore, they did not win games to earn the spot to or chance an opportunity to play in these named bowl games.
Yeah, it's just an opportunity for marketing is all it is.
Yeah.
I don't see how the rounds of the playoffs being named after bowls really makes any kind of,
the
unless
schools and conferences make a lot of money on the bowl games, Joe.
Yeah.
even in the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the players get more swag the more games they go to. The prizes, the gift bags,
Okay,
all that
so
stuff gets better.
I
But
get.
that's
Oh,
what I'm
that's
saying.
right. Because each bowl has its own separate organization.
Ton of sponsorship.
Yeah.
And that's
so
what I'm
they-
saying,
okay.
Nick, is like
But,
That's
you
what I'm
take,
yeah,
saying,
no,
though.
because they're the playoff
you take
team.
the
So yeah,
CU
they should
Buffs.
still. Yeah,
if
you're
you
right.
take the CU Buffs
I'm with you,
against
Colin.
Utah, they don't deserve one of those bowl games. Where you're going to knock them out. You're going to knock these games out of the college football playoffs to give them to who?
If they did the bowls
17th ranked
better,
team in
you
the
might
nation.
have had you could have had a CU versus Miami in a good bowl game if they'd actually done that.
And
but
just
they
call
didn't-
that the
but they
Orange
didn't
Bowl.
do that.
Oh,
But
I
even
mean,
That's all
then-
I'm saying.
I'd have to sit down and like actually like put it together. I'm just looking at what I've seen and what I've been watching, and if I actually had time this week I didn't know we were going to have this argument. Number one, and number
Well,
two,
you
if I
brought
had
up a
time to
crazy
actually
point, so
sit there,
I'll
Nick,
accept
I
you.
want a full proposal on my desk by Monday.
I'll give you a proposal.
Put it in the TPS.
I propose we turn this over to Colin.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin just kind of winging it.
All right, welcome in everybody to the Victory Formation, where we make real bets with fake money. And unlike Nick, I can admit defeat when defeat stares me in the face, even if I didn't prep for defeat.
Not until I'm dead.
I have a feeling Nick will come back next week and let me know about my victory in that bowl conversation. But that's
Nick's
we'll
just gonna
save
feel
that
like
for
Batman.
another show.
You give him prep time and he's got it.
Well, give
Thank
him
you.
prep time. It's okay. I can call you out on saying something a little outrageous, Nick. I don't mind you saying something outrageous. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Sometimes we have to.
I do it all the time.
The outrageous part, as I said, I didn't win a game this week. Both Nick and Joe were 2-1. So let's see who won this week overall. First game was the Stars and Maple Leafs. Both Nick and Joe chose the Stars correctly. The Stars went up to Toronto and worked with that ass, really, 4-1. Next we move on to the Heat versus the Lakers. Me and Nick both chose the Heat, and the Lakers won in La La Land, so that means 15-41 to Joe. And Kansas versus Iowa State. Well, Nick was the only one smart enough to pick Iowa State, who were big favorites at -240, winning 14-17. My Rock Chalk Jayhawk trying good luck and win some good mojo with the lady is I don't know if it worked yet. We'll figure that out here in a little bit tonight. But it did not work. So that means for this week, the big winner, because of the -185 Lakers winning, is Joe. Big winner of the week, 23-74. Joe is in second place, moves him back into second place at 33-61 on the season. Nick in second place for the week is in first place overall, 22-50 on the week and winning 40-83. And after losing $30 this week, going over, I am at 24-27. Thank you last week and my $54 for keeping me out of the red. Try and continue that this week as we have a full weekend and even into the new week of football. We start things off with the first game this Saturday. Texans versus the Chiefs. Texans, big underdogs going into Kansas City, +350. Chiefs favored at -455. Nick, who you got?
Texans are playing with house money. They look good. They looked hot. Chiefs are still dealing with injuries. but they are the Chiefs. I'm gonna stay with the Chiefs. I really want to go Texans, but it's just too hard to not believe.
That's fair. Joe, who you got?
Oh yeah,
Texans
no,
or Chiefs?
I think we could just chop this down. It sounds like Colin wants to take the upset in the Texans, and Nick and I are both taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it before. I
It's
think
good
that
money.
the Texans coming in from last week, they were good. I'm a little nervous about the Chiefs. I've talked about it before. They played a lot of close games. The shoe's got to fall sometime. Maybe it doesn't fall until next season, but
Or next
I
weekend.
also just hate the Chiefs, so I'll probably just keep picking against them anyway. So easy money for all you guys if you want to pick the Chiefs to win. We move on to the next game, the Commanders versus the Lions. Commanders, this is the biggest odds split of the week. Commanders plus 360, underdogs. Lions minus 470, home favorites. Joe, who you got?
The Lions.
Makes perfect sense. I'm going with the Lions too. I think that the bye week should help them a lot. Nick, are we going to see the Commanders win because we're all choosing the Lions?
Washington football team. Anybody?
I'm gonna roll the dice. I think Jalen's gonna surprise some people. I want to bite some
Jaden?
kneecaps, some credit
Jaden?
kneecaps, but what did I say?
Jalen, not Jaden.
I thought I said Jaden.
Nope.
Okay, anyway,
Jalen.
give me the Commanders.
Can confirm.
Oh, thank you, Nick, for being the sacrificial commander on this one.
Everybody's got to.
For us to not get a sweep.
Everybody
We
gets
move
one.
on to the Rams and the Eagles. This one for me, I talked about it earlier. The Rams defense. They had 9 sacks last week. Granted, it was against a porous Minnesota Vikings defensive line. I also chose the Rams to win the Super Bowl, so I'm going to root for the Rams until they get knocked out. So I'm choosing the Rams. Plenty of personal bias in that one. Nick, who you got? Plus 225 Rams, minus 278 Eagles.
Fly Eagles fly.
Nick loves Philadelphia again.
Ooh,
Joe, who you
it's
got?
always sunny in Philadelphia. I just don't trust the Eagles and Nick Sirianni. And I said that last week, and they won anyway. So we're going to keep picking against them, and they'll probably win. But we'll take the Rams.
Damn it, Joe, if they win because you picked against them. We move on to really the game of the week. We all talked about it earlier. This is the Ravens and Bills. Minus 115 for the Ravens, minus 105 for the Bills. Who you got, Mr. Nick?
You know what?
Senor.
Lamar's going to exercise his demons. Give me Baltimore.
Oh, be more. He wants some more of that.
Give me some of them soft shell crabs.
Joe, who you got?
Dude, I don't know. This is like I can't pick somebody to choke because it's both of them. You know, it's like if the Chargers played against the Chargers.
It would be a tie.
You know, somehow, but they would find a way to have it be a loss on the schedule. The game would get canceled.
Negative points in a football game. Don't ask.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's just nothing but safeties. Let's go with Buffalo.
It goes with Buffalo. I am also going with the Bills, setting up the hopeful matchup. We'll just talk. We'll talk about it if it happens. My pick for the Super Bowl. I think the Bills. Being at home, just give me that little advantage, and
makes sense.
There's not a lot of math to it besides that's just I think Buffalo should go further, and I picked a lot of players for them in my playoff fantasy team.
That's my kind of math.
And we wrap up the weekend or the picks before the next show
today
with the college football national championship. Notre Dame plus 285 against Ohio State minus
the
360.
Ohio State University.
You forgot the.
Yeah. They tried to trademark
the people. Don't care about that. People just want to know who the hell you're picking, Joe.
OH.
Io.
Yeah, like, come on. I watched Notre Dame come out and fucking beat the blocks off them. But no, I'm going to take Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State also in this. Not much to say besides I think the Golden Domers are going to get their domes pounded in by Ohio State.
Get those
Golden
domes
Domers
golden.
have an idea what they need to do. Give me the Irish.
Oh, he did. He took the bait.
I was about to say
I was
the
Irish thinking
folks.
Notre Dame. I've been thinking Notre Dame all week.
There's a chance. Like I said, Ohio State. We've seen them not play well in big games, so I can definitely see them laying an egg. No, I know. I could see that happening.
And Nick's the one who got the soundbite from Ryan Harris, alumnus of Notre Dame. So he's got a soft spot.
Yeah, I do. Offensive lineman, Notre Dame alum. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah, victory formation soundbite.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Also, real quick, raise one up to my boy, Bob Euchre. Thank you for everything you've done for me.
Just a bit outside.
Quite the example of what to and what not to do. It was, one of the greatest things I will ever be able to say is I saw a game in Milwaukee at American Family Field listening to Bob Euchre. And so, it's just a great thing to have. Thank you for that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Thank you, Michael Spillin and everybody over at e5280sports.com for hosting us. Thank you, Pikes Peak Sports Cards, our sponsor. Thank you, Colin and Joe. I always love doing this with you guys. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, whatever else they allow you to do. Tell your moms, tell your friends, tell your mom's friends, and tell your wives. We won't take them away from you. Until next time, this has been Undrafted Uncensored. For Colin Zanker and Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. Thank you.
Go football!
Yeah, sports.
Deportes de America.
Sí.
Mexicana